What's going on, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Circlewood MMA. Today we are looking at UFC 215. It is going to be on September 9th at the Rogers Place Arena in Edmonton, Alberta. Now, this is a huge fight card. There's two title fights on this card, and it could be a historical event with Mighty Mouse Johnson. He is looking to break Anderson Silva's all-time title defense record as he looks to take on Borg. Now, the other title fight, it is Amanda Nunes. She has taken on Valentina Shevchenko. I'm very excited. I'm going to break this down for y'all real quick. But as always, I'm going to go through kind of quick these prelim fights and these smaller fights and get a little bit more in depth in the bigger fights and the main card. Starting off the night, we got a lightweight matchup, and it's Kejon Johnson. He's taking on Adriano Martins. Now, Johnson is looking to build off of a 2-fight win streak, and Martins is looking to rebound off of a split decision loss he had recently. And I think Martins is going to come back strong from that loss that he just had, and he is going to win this matchup. Now we're on to the heavyweight division. We've got Luis Henrique. He's taking on Arjan Bueller. Now, this is Arjan Bueller's first fight in the UFC. But this guy's a great wrestler. He's only 6-0, but I think this guy's going to make some noise, and I'm taking Bueller to win this matchup. Now we're on to another lightweight matchup, and we've got Mitch Clarke. He's taking on Alex White, and I'm going to pick Mitch Clarke to win. He is from Canada. He's got the home crowd behind him. He's winning this fight. Now we've got a women's bantamweight matchup. We've got Sara Moras. She's taking on Ashlee Evans-Smith. Now, Sara has not fought in over 2 years, so I'm going to give Ashlee Evans-Smith the nod in this matchup. Next up, we've got a big flyweight matchup, and we've got Henry Cejudo. He's taking on Wilson Reis. Both of these guys has recently fought for the UFC Flyweight Championship. Now, Henry Cejudo, he was 10-0. And he fought Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson. He lost that fight, and he lost his next fight, and it was a close split decision loss. You know, a lot of people say it was controversial. And Wilson Reis, his last fight was actually for the championship, and which of course he lost. But you know, I just think Henry Cejudo, I think, is going to rebound off those 2 losses. He is a very good wrestler. He's a very tough guy. I'm picking Henry Cejudo to win this matchup, and I want to say he's going to contend for the Flyweight Championship very soon again. Next up, we've got a big matchup in the women's bantamweight division. We've got Sara McMann. She's taking on Ketlen Vieira. Both of these women have great grappling credentials. Now, Ketlen Vieira, she is undefeated in her professional mixed martial arts career. But I think that is going to change after this fight. You know, Sara McMann, she is so strong, got Olympic caliber wrestling. I think Sara McMann is going to win this fight, and she might be next in line for the winner of the co-main event for the women's UFC Bantamweight Championship. And now we're finally on to the main card, and we are starting the night with probably my favorite fight of the card, and it is a featherweight matchup. We've got Jeremy Stephens. He's taking on Gilbert Melendez, and both of these guys are just both known for just being such big time brawlers. You know, they'll stand in the pocket and trade with anybody. Jeremy Stephens probably has the heaviest hands in the featherweight division, and Gilbert Melendez, he is just so tough. You know, he will stand there and trade with just anybody. And both of these guys have been in some of the biggest wars. You know, look at Jeremy Stephens' highlights. He has knocked some people's fucking heads off. You know, look at the fight with him and former UFC lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos, and he sends an uppercut from halfway across the cage and knocks Rafael dos Anjos into the fucking shadow realm. You know, I've never seen an uppercut like that before in my life. And Gilbert Melendez, look at some of his fights in Strikeforce. You know, he's been in some fucking wars, and he actually contended for the UFC lightweight championship. You know, he came up short in that fight. You know, a lot of people thought he won that fight, but he is on a losing streak, as with Jeremy Stephens. But you know, they are such big time fan favorites. You know, both these guys are great fighters, but This might be the hardest fight for me to pick a winner on, but I think Gilbert Melendez, I just think he's a little bit more well-rounded. He's so tough, I think he will survive an onslaught from Jeremy Stephens, and I think he's going to pick up the victory in this fight. Now on to the light heavyweight division, we've got Ilir Latifi. He's taking on Tyson Pedro. This is a very interesting matchup for me. We've got Ilir Latifi. He's 34 years old. He's been around for a while. He's faced a who's who in the light heavyweight division. He's got great wrestling. He is so explosive. He's been knocking people out. He's just a very crafty guy. And then Tyson Pedro, he's a very young guy. He's 25 years old. He's only had 6 professional MMA fights, but he has stopped everybody in all those fights. He's 6-0, all by stoppage, but he is stepping up to face a very experienced veteran in Ilir Latifi. I think Tyson Pedro, he is going to make some noise in the light heavyweight division, but I just think Ilir Latifi, he's going to squeak this one out right now just because he's got that experience edge. But, don't count Tyson Pedro out, but I'm going to give Ilir Latifi the nod in this matchup. Now, a big-time welterweight matchup. We've got Magny. He's taking on Rafael dos Anjos, and I've kind of teeter-tottered on who to pick in this fight. Magny, he's had his ups and downs in the welterweight division, but man, he has fought every name that you can think of besides fighting for the championship. Now, Rafael dos Anjos, he just recently moved up to welterweight after he lost the lightweight championship, and a lot of people thought he was like untouchable in the lightweight division. Now, the only reason I am going to lean towards Magny in this fight is because, well, for one, Magny is 5 inches taller than Rafael dos Anjos. He's got a 10-inch reach advantage, and we'll see. Rafael dos Anjos, his fight style is like he will pressure you and everything, and I do kind of think he might pick apart Magny's legs, and pick apart his body, throw a lot of body shots, and that will give Magny some trouble. But the one thing that I do not like about Rafael dos Anjos right now, he had a career resurgence. Look at when he fought Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens knocked his head into the 4th row, and then he went and changed camps, and he had a 100% career resurgence when he joined King's MMA. He went on this long win streak, won the UFC lightweight championship, and when he lost it, I can't remember if he dropped his camp before he lost the championship or right after, but regardless, he left one of the best trainers out there, the guy that changed his career, and Fabricio Verdum, brought them 2 back. So, I just don't know where he's going to be right now. He's kind of training out of this other camp, and then he's got Team RDA, but I'm going to barely go with Magny in this fight. Just don't count out Rafael dos Anjos. I would not bet on this fight. It is just so hard to pick, but I'm kind of leaning towards Magny. Now on to the co-main event of the evening. This is for the Women's Bantamweight Championship. We've got the champion Amanda Nunes. She is taking on Valentina Shevchenko. Now, both of these women, they have fought before back in 2016, and Amanda Nunes won a close decision victory, but Valentina, she started off real slow in that fight, and Amanda Nunes got the first 2 rounds, but Shevchenko, she came around hard in that 3rd round. She made a big time comeback, and a lot of people think that if this was a 5-round fight, that Valentina, she started coming back so big that if it was a 5-round fight, that Valentina would have won, so this one is going to be a 5-round fight, so we will find out. Now, Amanda Nunes, she won the championship by beating Miesha Tate, and then she went and defended it by piecing up Ronda Rousey, just obliterated her, possibly ended Ronda Rousey's career. And Valentina Shevchenko, the last time she lost was to Amanda Nunes, and then she's on a couple fight win streak now. In her last fight, she went and did a crazy submission. It was an armbar on Juliana Pena. I'm going to pick Valentina Shevchenko. I think this title is going to change hands once again. Valentina, I just want to say that she's been out there putting in the work. She is predominantly a striker, and she's been working on her submission game and everything. She's been working on all aspects, and she has made a big come around. I just think that Valentina, she's made those improvements that she's needed to since 2016 when she lost to Amanda Nunes. I think that she has made those adjustments that she needed to, and I think that Valentina Shevchenko is going to be the new women's bantamweight champion of the world. Now on to the main event of the evening. This is for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the world. We've got the champion, Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson. He is looking to make history in this fight. Right now, he is tied at 10 with Anderson Silva for the most title defenses in UFC history. And he's taking on Ray Borg. Ray Borg is a young dude. He's only 24, I believe. He's had some great fights in the UFC. You know, he's on a 2-fight win streak, but right now he is going against the greatest fighter in the UFC, pound for pound best. Now, Demetrious Johnson, you know, I just don't see anybody touching him. His stamina is through the roof, his grappling, ground game, his striking, just everything. This dude is the best fighter in the UFC right now. His fight IQ is just tremendous, you know. I hate to discredit somebody like Ray Borg, but I just don't see anybody touching Demetrious Johnson right now, you know, unless somebody wants to step down from 135 and drop down to 125 to try and contend against Demetrious Johnson. There was rumors that TJ Dillashaw was going to, but I don't know what happened with that. And Demetrious Johnson, you know, he signed this contract with Ray Borg, so I don't know if TJ Dillashaw will in the future step down, or I don't know if Demetrious Johnson is going to step up to the Bantamweight division and try and take on somebody for that belt or anything, because he's going through the Flyweight division. You know, who's to say he's not going to do what Conor McGregor did and step up and try and get 2 belts, you know. But Demetrious Johnson right now, he is pound for pound the greatest fighter in the UFC. I hate to say it, but he is going to run through Ray Borg. He is going to beat Anderson Silva's title defense record, and I don't see anybody that's going to stop him right now. So Demetrious Johnson, he's winning this fight. He's making history too. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like. Comment down below what you think. You know, what are your picks on this fight? And if you like my videos, please subscribe. I'm going to keep putting these out. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching.